जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह और मेरा बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है कि मैं अभी गुफ्तगू में होऊंगा पूर्व सैनिक का जो संगठन है चंडीगढ़ में, पंजाब में, बल्कि उनके प्रेसिडेंट से, very fine general officer who had an exemplary service in the army. I had the honor to serve with him. In fact, जब हम नॉर्थ ईस्ट में थे, when I was doing the ADC to the GOC 3 Corps, that time sir was commanding an Assam Rifles Pulton in Tripura, 11 Assam Rifles, and let me tell you what a fine Pulton and what a fine command sir had. In fact, when sir was relinquishing command, there was a huge surrender of a lot of militants. In fact, that happened in Sir's command. And I had the fortune to witness that surrender ceremony. In fact, sir will tell us about right now, फिलहाल अभी हम सब जानते हैं पटियाला में क्या चल रहा है, खासतौर से आर्मी कर्नल साहब, सर्विंग आर्मी कर्नल बाद साहब के साथ और उनके बेटे के साथ, अंगद के साथ क्या हुआ था। बहुत ही ज्यादा बदसलूकी हुई थी. And a small spark at that time, उस टाइम पे मीडिया में आया, but now it's taken the world by storm. It became a movement. But as soldiers, हमारी कमजोरी नहीं है, वो हमारी शराफत है कि हम we do not believe in taking law in our hands. We go by procedures and by protocols. Let's talk to the general officer and we'll ask about what the emotions of the Poorva Sainiks is on this. Sir, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for taking your time, sir.
Thank you, Ali, for inviting me. And I've been watching your channel, and I'll be very candid and forthright with my views. Presently, I'm president of Poorv Sainik Kalyan Sangathan at all India level. We are spread in 12 states. Before I go to this incident is one spark which has come out of the way society has taken the armed forces in recent time. Let me tell you, armed forces have a place of pride, and armed forces are only as strong as the pride of the population or the nation and faith in the armed forces. It is not a profession, it is way of life. I will just quote my own personal example. I have five elder brothers. My father wanted my brothers to join army. The elder one could not clear SSB, and he had pinned his hope on me. I got into Sainik school, NDA, IMA from age of 9 years to the age of 58 years. So that is a very long time. More than 50 years I have spent in army, and today when I come out of army, I know only that as a way of life.
Your son is in the army, sir? Your son, your daughter, your son-in-law?
My son is in army, my daughter is in army, my son-in-law is in army. I don't want to go further. Everybody in surrounding is in army. My father incidentally was a politician, a freedom fighter. He was Deputy Chief Minister of Pepsu State in 1952, MLA, Member of Parliament. But he was very sure that the pride of the family lies in at least one or two children going into armed forces. That is the ethos. That is the pride we take in armed forces. Therefore, the wars are not won only on the battlefield. The wars are won by the pride that the nation takes in its soldier in day-to-day life. If you take this as the preamble, then this is not an isolated case. Society, perhaps, do we need a war for our society, for India to understand the importance of the armed forces? I don't think we should be doing that. But it has been 50 years since we have actually fought a war. But we fought an important war in Kargil. Now I will give you example of Kargil. This is all related to this incident. Why I'm giving you example of Kargil? It was fought on morale and soldiers. At 16 to 18,000 feet and even more, lack of oxygen, no camouflage, no army on this earth, and I am making it clear again, no army on this earth other than Indian Army would have carried out charge on those unforgettable hills against an enemy which was well fortified. They were surrendering their ration and water so that they could carry extra ammunition. To carry a casualty back, they had to take 6 to 8 to 10 people to carry a casualty back. It was very, very difficult. In those conditions, we won a battle. I will quote 2 examples why we won a battle. And all this I am relating to morale, which the acts by our citizen is detrimental to our morale. All this act, whether this act is Bhubaneswar, whether this act is in Rajasthan, whether it is in Mao, or whether it is in a state which gives one of the largest number of person in the armed forces on pro rata basis, except for hill state of Himachal and Uttarakhand. Haryana and Punjab are giving maximum people to armed forces. They take pride in this. Incident happening in that state are a matter of shame and extreme concern. I will again quote you 2 examples on morale. My today's concept is eroding of morale of the armed forces by such act and by not taking action on such act by civil polity, administration, police, or whosoever is responsible. I'll quote 2 small examples. I was commanding a brigade in high altitude. One Ladakh scout battalion was with me to prepare defenses on China borders in summers. I met a young boy who was highly decorated in Kargil war. That time he was part of Indus Wing, which later became Ladakh Scout. I asked him, "Beta, aapne kya kiya tha?" He was quiet. Then his CO came up and encouraged him. He told me कि साहब हम ऐसे ऐसे 18,500 फीट पे गए. उस टाइम हमें ये नहीं पता था कि वहां दुश्मन कोई मिलिटेंट है या रेगुलर आर्म्ड फोर्सेस है पाकिस्तान का. तो हम रेक्की के लिए गए थे. 1 JCO, 9 other rank. He was junior most with 3 years of service. When they were very close to post, that concealed enemy brought heavy fire on them. All of them except this young man died. Then they came down. The Pakistani soldier came down and pumped bullet to make sure everybody is dead. 1 bullet was pumped in his thigh also. He fainted as if he is dead.
Oh God.
Thereafter, the JCO in the meantime was able to communicate and heavy artillery fire from our side came on that. Once the fire subsided, he returned back. He had bullet in 1 thigh. He could not walk. He crawled for 3 days and 3 nights. And can anybody in civil street imagine whom did he get along with him? I want the citizens of this country to understand he carried his dead JCO with him all this while. मैंने पूछा, बेटे आप अपने JCO साहब को साथ में लेके आए, आपसे भारी हैं वो और शहीद हो चुके हैं, तो उनको पूरा नीचे लाने में आपको क्या लगा? कहता, साहब मैंने तो दोबारा सोचा ही नहीं. मैंने कहा, क्यों? कहता, मुझे भरोसा था कि अगर मुझे कुछ हो जाता तो मेरा लीडर मुझे वापस लाता. This is a very big statement. This statement comes when the nation takes pride in soldiers. I will quote second example. In Kargil operation, the officer to men ratio was 10:1 or something around that. Young officers were leading and brave soldiers were coming. In fact, each one encouraging, officer encouraging soldier and soldier encouraging officer. In World War I and II, officer to men ratio in those trench warfare was 1:24. That is how, whether it is officer, JCO, NCO, people lead in Indian Army. And leaders are made when leaders have pride in themselves. Such incident in the nation erode the pride of the leaders. These are detrimental to national security. This should not be taken as a small and isolated case. This trend in India should be nipped in the bud. If this, as talking about this incident, everybody has spoken about, I feel ashamed to talk about those people who have indulged in this. And I feel ashamed to talk about those people who are covering it up. In my last interaction also, I mentioned maybe there are heady people, they are drunk, they have carried out an encounter, उनको encounter करने का भी नशा है, उनसे गलती हो गई है. Then the state administration should crack down on them straight. Why should SP hide? DGP is not anywhere. The polity, the chief minister and home minister of the state are nowhere. What message goes to the veterans and serving people of the armed forces that look, this is what has happened to a very senior colonel who is appointed in a very, he is presently not with the army, is on a very sensitive appointment. If that can happen to a very senior colonel, this kind of a treatment, a baki junior officer, JCO, NCO, what message goes to them? Is that the message Punjab police and the Punjab polity wants the armed forces of India to derive from them? The question is very large. The question is very large. This unfortunate incident has brought many questions, and this is a trend. One place, Bhubaneswar, the heart where armed forces are there, infantry school, college of combat, signals. Mao is the heart, very, very old cantonment. There also this thing has happened. In earlier times, you know what happened. Mao mein kuch hota tha. People had their way of settling it down. I don't want to elaborate.
I know what you mean, sir. I know what you mean.
You know what happened in a cinema hall at the railway station in Amritsar, how Chief Minister's son was dragged.
950, sir.
I'm
Thimaiya was the chief at that time, if I'm not mistaken, sir.
Yes. Janat Thimaiya, in fact, told the Prime Minister that if he cannot maintain honor of our country. Now the question is, if we cannot maintain honor of our officer, JCO and men who come out in civil street, how will we maintain honor of the country? Whose onus is this to make sure that our honor is maintained? This is not a small question. This is a very big question. Now, I don't want to go into, pardon me, I don't want to go into speculations that somebody across is triggering, this is happening. I will not go into that. This is plain and simple question of the administration of the state and how the existing ruling compensation in the state takes the matter.
I agree, sir. So, as you mentioned about speculation, I saw a tweet by one of the very senior former generals where he mentioned that the officer was robbed of his iCard, was robbed of his mobile phone because he could be having sensitive data on his phone and the iCard could have been filed for by somebody. I know you don't want to get into the speculation, ek alag hi angle hua. But sir, again, as you said, what happens in Mao, like the Vios, they are in fact famous. Hum Devali mein the. A course senior to us, they also had an incident with the Vios. In fact, jake young officers, they have gone and they have vandalized police thana, which is wrong, which should not be done. In fact, which we don't really encourage. But okay, unhone josh mein kiya. We always follow rules, protocols. We don't believe in taking law in our hands. We feel, sir, abhi jaise ki kal bhi morcha nikla, a peaceful rally in Patiala. कल भी डीसी ऑफिस के बाहर 10 बजे मिसेस बाथ ने अपील किया है कि पीसफुली फॉर आएंगे. सर, यू आर हैंडलिंग 12 states of a former serviceman under you. Sir, what is the role of your organization regarding welfare of former soldiers, sir?
See, we are basically to provide relief to widows, ex-servicemen, issues relating to their pensions, issue relating to the opportunity of employment that arise any and everywhere, keeping them abreast. Go and meet them. on their sukh dukh mein unke saath rehte hain. We don't take any financial support from anybody. We give. I am living on my pension and I contribute part of that. In fact, I am also the founder director of a trust of 17 Mechanized Infantry Seekers Trust. We are also starting that trust to help people. Lot of things are going on in that. So I will not like to, I would say, not like to brag or talk about my this thing. Today is not the forum for that.
Sir, right, sir. Sir, and regarding the organization, what apart from you, as you've been very vocal about it, and we really appreciate your thoughts and your views. And in fact, there are comments coming in; people are appreciating you as well. So, regarding the organization as a whole, what have you, what steps have you taken to help to get justice? Not, as you mentioned, not only it should not be seen in isolation, Colonel Bhatt's case, but overall, I mean, when जब कोई फौज और आर्मी के बीच में नोक-झोंक होती है, सर जब मैं नागालैंड में था, आई वाज विद द आपने 11 असम राइफल्स कमांड किया था, बाद में सर मैं 26 असम राइफल्स में आया, तो मेरा भी हमारा भी मेरे जवानों का और मेरा भी एक नोक-झोंक हो गया था विद द नागालैंड पुलिस, but my commanding officer, my commandant that time, now Brigadier Gautam Gambhir retired, he handled and he nipped in the bud, so it was laid to rest. So what has your organization done to contribute for the for to in such incidents which you have, which is चाहे मऊ हो, चाहे राजस्थान हो, चाहे ओडिशा हो, so what has your organization done for these servicemen, sir, ex-servicemen?
Actually, these issues are handled collectively. Bigger leagues which are there, it is handled collectively. It is civil administration thing. None of us need to come to handle these issues. These issues actually should have been handled by the state government. Somebody has done an abrasive activity. There is a hierarchy in state police. SSP, when contacted, he was brazen, did not listen to lady. And when he went to the GOC Armored Division, their general base, he told a blatant lie, saying that FIR karwa diya sir. Whereas FIR was done by the dhaba owner. The victim was the lady officer and his son, whereas FIR is being done by the third party. Now, police has got lot of powers. They please lot of people, and there are a lot of people out of pressure or everything come to help them. They are playing those tactics. Some lawyers have been made to stand, making certain things. It is a simple case wherein everything is on evidence. Misbehavior with officer is on evidence. They were not drinking. It is on video camera. Police, five police inspectors, they are asking for forgiveness from the lady. It is on camera. When everything is on camera, bhai, uska FIR karo. FIR, to my understanding, is the first step for all these things. Now the question arises. अगर वो ये नहीं करते हैं तो what do we do? We are a disciplined force. हमारी हालत आज पता है क्या है? न इधर के रहे, न उधर के रहे, न वसाले सनम, न खुदा ही मिला. And who is responsible for our halat? This incident should not have occurred. Had it occurred and there was a prompt action by SP himself, forgiveness, immediately seeking forgiveness, or telling the thing truthfully, taking action against those, dismiss, suspension, every possible thing that this act deserves should have been done by SP, state police, DGP, but rather than doing that, they were playing different game. That is very, very hurting. I think intervention has to be there. Today, people have gone to meet the governor again. Earlier also, the lady has met the governor. Governor has been Home Minister of a state. He is very well versed person, and we expect lot from him. State government is just not budging. They, in spite of that issue coming up in state assembly and parliament, state government has uttered no word about it, no regret about it, or no likely action they are going to take. They have not announced anything in this manner. That is why I was saying reducing the morale or playing with morale of armed forces. Which way is the state government playing? Is it playing with India or somebody else?
Ji, sir. Sir, I sincerely thank you for your time, and of course, your words, जो आपने बोला है, I hope something come out of this matter, and I hope justice is given to Colonel Badr and his family, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for taking out time, and my regards to your family. And sir, खास तौर से एक चीज और, आप अपने खानदान से पहले फौजी थे मेरे ख्याल से, if I'm not mistaken, and you set up the tradition, you set the ball rolling. Your son, your daughter, your son-in-law, and a whole lot of other faujis from your family that came about, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Hind.